This will give your wired headphones a new life. Let's check it out. Dave Taylor here, and I'm checking out this tiny little device. It's the iFi Go Blue portable headphone amp, and it's an amp DAC combination unit, and it's pretty marvelous. As you can see, it is super small, but the idea is you take your wired headphones and then plug it into the unit, and now your headphones become Bluetooth enabled, but much more importantly is it has an amplifier, and it's a really crisp, clean amplifier that does marvelous things to your music. Now, it's built on the Cirrus Logic 43131 DAC chip, and it has sample rates up to 24 bits at 96 kilohertz, signal to noise ratio of 111 decibels balanced or 116 decibels unbalanced. That's depending on whether you use the 4.4 or 3.5 millimeter jack. It supports both. Total harmonic distortion balanced is less than 0.009%, which is way beyond anything anyone's going to be able to hear. Unbalanced, it's 0.03. Again, you're going to have pretty incredible hearing to be able to catch any of that distortion. It's really clean. It's a really clean amp. And 20 to 45,000 hertz frequency response. And you know that it actually has lots of secret superpowers when I tell you that it supports AAC, aptX, aptX HD, aptX Adaptive, aptX Low Latency, HWA, LDAC, and SBC. In other words, whatever you pair this with as a music source, it's going to get the very best possible sound out of that device with the maximum possible bandwidth. And then its own amplifying circuits can do even more with the music, because it also has what IFI calls XBass, and a new one to me, XSpace. So XBass, turn it on and your bass just gets richer. It doesn't become thumpy, it doesn't sound like it's a square wave or something like that. It just gives you more bass, which is super fun. And then XBass actually gives you a bigger sort of sonic picture. It gives you a more spatial sense to it, and that becomes really fun too. And you can also use it wired if you want. So I could take these headphones. These are the Beyerdynamic Amirons. Really beautiful headphones, super, super comfortable. So I could plug this into the 3.5 millimeter jack, and then it has USB-C for charging, but you can also use it to hook up to a music source like your computer. So if you do that, you're sort of sidestepping the whole Bluetooth, which is fine because you're still using it as an amp. Still going to sound really fantastic. In fact, that's probably the very best sound you can get. But you can use it wired or wireless if you're not a big Bluetooth fan. And then the 3.5 millimeter is gold plated, and the 4.4 is the Pentacom balanced interface. So if you have 4.4 millimeter headphones, props to you. They're not that common, but they do give you a really nice sound with the assumption that the device you're plugging into is producing that sound, and the headphones do maybe a little bit less work. Maybe not, but in any case, Bluetooth 5.1 if you are using Bluetooth, and it is a rechargeable device. It runs for 10 hours on a charge. When you're ready to charge it, that USB-C comes in handy again, and it has LED lights on it. So on the top is an LED light that'll show you what sound mode you're in, and you step between no sound filtering going on to XBass, to XSpace, to XBass and XSpace. So you can just sort of tap through. It's the second button here on this side. In fact, let me give you a couple of close-ups so you can see sort of the tour. On the top, you have the 3.5 millimeter and 4.4 millimeter jacks, and an LED that shows you its mode. Then on the right-hand side, you have that multifunction knob. Dialing it forward and backward will actually change the volume, but there's a push button on the end that can do pause, play, previous, next track, all that sort of stuff. Below that is another button that lets you step through those modes. If you want to try it without XBass versus with, it's super easy to do that. On the bottom, you have the tiny microphone hole, because this has a built-in microphone, so you can use your classic headphones and take a phone call if you really need to. And then the LED there is your battery status. Mine is green because my battery's in great shape. And USB-C for charging, and a tiny little hole they tell me is for doing a system reset if you really need to. I have not had to do that. And then on the left-hand side is a single button, and that's your Bluetooth functionality button for getting into pairing mode and things of that nature. Generally speaking, it just works. I literally plug this in, turn it on, plug in my headphones, go to my source device, and it's all ready to rock and roll. If I unconnect it from all of my source devices, it goes into pairing mode, and then I can connect it to another device. Really easy. I've tried this with my iPhone. This is an iPhone 13 Pro, so I'm using AAC in that sense. I've tried it with my Google Pixel phone, which gives me aptX. I've tried it with my MacBook, which I think also gives me aptX. It's just really easy to work with, and as I said, it just gives you this beautiful sound. So it's this easy to use. So oops, let me plug it into the correct jack, that would be helpful, and put my headphones on, and then I can do a single push, and I am right into some Ahmad Jamal. I've been listening to a lot of his old music. Solid stuff, but this just gives me this like the sense that I'm at a nightclub, and I almost can smell the cigarette smoke and can almost hear the clinking of the glasses, but it's just a lot of presence. The sound is rich and beautiful, and there's no brights on the high, there's no thumpiness on the bass. The soundstage is great. If you add that XBass, it gives you even more soundstage. Now, to be totally candid, I like having XBass, which gives me just a little bit more bass, though I feel like these Amirons already do a nice job. Just gives me a little more. But I'm not a huge fan of XBass. That's one where it's interesting to turn it on and off, because it does give you a little bit more of that sort of spatial sense, but at a price. It doesn't sound exactly the same, obviously, and I think I like it without XBass on. But of course, IFI's got it totally covered, because it's really easy for me to decide to turn it on or off. Now, in the box, comes in a very nice box. I'll go through this super quick, nothing too earth-shattering, but it comes with a handy little guide that gives you all the light statuses, well, whatever, and the warranty. And then in a little box on the bottom, it includes the charging cable, nice little USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and a little tiny leather bag that you can use to carry it around if you want to protect it. And that's nice. It's nice of them to include that, though I suspect I won't use it very much. I imagine a lot of people will, and that gives them that choice and that flexibility. So really, this is a remarkable piece of electronics. It is tiny, it is less than an ounce. And if you're carrying it by itself, you can easily forget you even have it. If you add it to your computer bag or your purse or your backpack or something, you absolutely won't notice that it's there until you use it with your classic headphones and you realize, wow, I'm getting a lot more sound and a lot richer sound out of. Even earbuds would work with this, right? Because you could plug them into that 3.5 millimeter jack. So lots to like here. I'm really a fan of this. This is one that's going to live in my computer bag because I just like having the best possible sound quality. And that means the only thing we have left to talk about is the price. But before we get to the price, I'm going to ask if you could subscribe to my channel. Click or tap on that subscribe button on the lower right and we're connected. Great. This is the IFI Go Blue portable headphone amp, and it's $199 at Amazon.com. Now, that might sound a little spendy, but I promise if you plug in your headphones to this versus just plugging them straight into your computer, you will absolutely hear a difference. These are going to make mediocre headphones sound good, good headphones sound really good, and really good headphones or audiophile level studio headphones sound amazing. And why wouldn't you want to invest a little more to get the best possible sound reproduction? That's what this offers. So with that, I think I'm going to go back to some Ahmad Jamal And I will catch you in my next video.